Nevis updates travel guidelines. Beginning May 1, 2021, travel requirements for fully vaccinated international travelers have been changed. A traveler shall be considered fully vaccinated if 2 weeks have elapsed after receiving their second dose of a 2-dose vaccine or 2 weeks after receiving a single-dose vaccine. Travelers must complete the travel authorization form and upload an official COVID-19 RT-PCR negative test result taken 72 hours before arrival. Due to the success of vaccination programs in source markets and on the island, Nevis Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris has announced a change in the travel requirements for international travelers vaccinated against COVID-19, effective May 1, 2021. Fully vaccinated international travelers must submit their official vaccination card upon completion of their travel authorization process at www.canatravelform.not. In addition to their 72-hour RT-PCR test and other required passenger documentation. Following are the travel requirements for international travelers from May 1, 2021. A traveler is considered fully vaccinated if 2 weeks have elapsed after receiving their second dose of a 2-dose vaccine line Pfizer/Moderna, or 2 weeks after receiving a single-dose vaccine Johnson & Johnson. The traveler's official COVID-19 vaccination card is accepted as proof. Fully vaccinated travelers will only have tow vacation in place for 9 days at a travel-approved hotel, down from the current 14 days. With effect from May 20, 2021, fully vaccinated travelers will be allowed to enter the destination's sporting venues. Travelers must complete the travel authorization form on the national website, www.canatravelform.not, and upload an official COVID-19 RT-PCR negative test result from a CDC-approved laboratory accredited to the ISO/IEC 17025 standard, taken 72 hours before their visit. For their trip, they must bring a copy of the negative COVID-19 RT-PCR test and their COVID-19 vaccination card as proof of the vaccination. Note: acceptable COVID-19 PCR tests must be taken by nasopharyngeal samples. Self-samples, quick tests or home tests are considered invalid. Undertake a health check at the airport, which includes a temperature check and a health questionnaire. If a traveler who has been fully vaccinated shows COVID-19 symptoms during the health examination, an RT-PCR test may be performed at their own expense $150. All travelers who are fully vaccinated are free to move through the travel-approved hotel, communicate with other guests and participate in hotel activities only. Fully vaccinated travelers staying longer than 9 days must be tested on day 9 of their stay, cost $150, and once their test is negative, they can participate in tours, attractions, restaurants, beach bars, retail shopping in the Federation. Effective May 1, 2021, vaccinated travelers will not have to take an exit RT-PCR test prior to departure. If a pre-departure test is required for the country of destination, the RT-PCR test will be taken 72 hours before departure. Example: if a person stays 7 days, the test will take place before departure on day 4. If a person stays 14 days, the test will be taken before departure on day 11. Travel-approved hotels for international travelers are Four Seasons Nevis, Golden Rock in Montpelier Plantation and Beach Paradise Beach. International travelers not fully vaccinated must meet the following requirements. Complete the travel authorization form on the national website, www.canatravelform.not, and upload an official COVID-19 RT-PCR negative test result from a CDC-approved laboratory accredited according to the ISO/IEC 17025 standard, 72 hours before travel. They must also bring a copy of the negative COVID-19 RT-PCR test for their trip. Note: acceptable COVID-19 PCR tests must be taken by nasopharyngeal samples. Self-samples, quick tests or home tests are considered invalid. Undertake a health check at the airport, which includes a temperature check and a health questionnaire. 7 days, visitors are free to move about the hotel property, communicate with other guests and participate in hotel activities. 14 days, visitors will undergo an RT-PCR test $150, visitors cost, on day 7. If the traveler is negative, on day 8 they are allowed to book certain excursions and access via the tour desk of the hotel select destination sites. 14 days or longer, on day 14, visitors will have to undergo an RT-PCR test $150, visitors cost, and if they are negative, the traveler will be allowed to stay in St. Kitts and Nevis. All travelers must take an RT-PCR test $150. Visitors cost 48 to 72 hours before departure. The RT-PCR test will be done on the hotel property at the nurses' station. The Ministry of Health will inform the hotel concerned before departure of the date and time for the traveler's RT-PCR test. Travelers staying 72 hours or less will complete the test upon arrival at RLB International Airport. If the traveler is positive before leaving, he or she should stay in isolation at their own expense. If negative, travelers will continue on departure on their respective dates. Upon arrival, if a traveler's RT-PCR test is outdated, falsified, or if they show symptoms of COVID-19, they will have to undergo an RT-PCR test at the airport at their own expense. International travelers wishing to stay at a private rental house or apartment must stay at their own expense at a property pre-approved as quarantine housing, including security. Please send a request to info@nevisisland.com. About Nevis. Nevis is part of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis and is located in the Leeward Islands of the West Indies. Conical in shape with a volcanic peak at its center known as Nevis Peak, the island is the birthplace of the founding father of the United States, Alexander Hamilton. The weather is typical of most of the year with temperatures in the low to mid 80s degrees F/mid 20-30s degrees C, cool breezes and low chances of precipitation. Air transportation is easily available with connections from Puerto Rico and St. Kitts. For more information about Nevis, travel packages and accommodations, please contact the Nevis Tourism Authority, USA telephone 1-407-287-5204, Canada 1-403-770-6697 or our website, www.nevisisland.com. And on Facebook Nevis Naturally. More news about Nevis. #rebuilding travel.